Section 30 of the Doctrine and Covenants is a revelation addressed to the Whitmer brothers, David Whitmer, Peter Whitmer, and John Whitmer. Originally, this revelation was 3 separate revelations to each of these individuals, but then as it says in the heading in the 1835 edition of the Doctrine and Covenants, all 3 of these revelations to these 3 brothers were combined into one. Let's take a look at what the Lord says to each of these 3 brothers, beginning with David Whitmer. Notice a few of the things just contextually that the Lord is going to bring out. Just one thing I'd highlight here is he tells David that his mind has been on the things of the earth more than on the things of his maker. Notice he doesn't say the things of the world or worldliness. The things of the earth almost suggest that David Whitmer, as a farmer, remember it's September and harvest season, and maybe David was being a little distracted about his day-to-day chores that he had to take care of around his farm. Also, another contextual thing, notice what the Lord says right here, where it says, "You have not given heed unto my spirit and to those who were set over you, but have been persuaded by those whom I have not commanded." That may be a reference to Hiram Page. Remember, this revelation was received just after the conclusion of the September conference, when they addressed the issue with Hiram Page and his seer stone. If you're unfamiliar with that, watch the context video of section 28. All right, let's move on to Peter Whitmer. What does the Lord say to Peter Whitmer? This one takes a little bit more context. Notice here with Peter, he says to Peter, you're going to take a journey with your brother Oliver, and that's meaning Oliver Cowdery. Peter Whitmer is going to be called as a junior companion to go on an extremely important mission in the history of the church, with Oliver Cowdery leading the way. Notice right here, it says that you'll go with him to build up my church among the Lamanites. The Lamanites were referencing at this time to the Native American Indians, and there had been a lot of discussion in this September conference about taking the gospel to the Native Americans. Remember, the Book of Mormon teaches that Native Americans are remnants of the house of Israel and inheritors of the promises of their fathers. The earlier revelations in the Doctrine and Covenants had also said the gospel needs to be taken to the Lamanites. And at that September conference, there was great discussion held on who was to do this. Oliver Cowdery was called to take it, and right here, Peter Whitmer is going to be called as well. And when it says the Lamanites, in other revelations, it will say things about the borders of the Lamanites. And notice that means right here. Here's Missouri, and this is kind of the western edge of America at this time. And the rest of this was considered Indian territory. So what they're going to do is they're going to travel here from Fayette, New York, travel over 1,000 miles, and come over here into Indian territory. Notice they're going to pass through some important places that will end up influencing the rest of the history of our church. They're going to pass through this town called Kirtland, Ohio, and they're also going to pass through this place called Independence, Missouri. Both of these will become 2 of the major church centers in upcoming years, all brought about by this mission that Peter Whitmer is going to take with Oliver Cowdery. There's Peter there. Oh man. Actually, I don't know if that's Peter or not, but he looks like he's trying to catch up with his senior companion, which is how most missionary service goes there. The 4 who went on this mission were Oliver Cowdery, Peter Whitmer, Parley P. Pratt, and Ziba Peterson. All right, let's talk about John Whitmer. John Whitmer here, when the Lord speaks to John Whitmer, all he tells him is that he is to labor in the region around Philip Burrows' house. Question, where's Philip Burrows' house? Well, it's right here in Seneca Falls, New York. This map doesn't show it, but Fayette would be right around there. This distance, by the way, is only about 6 miles. And so they're not going very far. Basically, what the Lord's telling John Whitmer is, I want you to stay at home and preach the gospel in this area, which is what John Whitmer ends up doing over the next number of months. So there's some context giving you the background of section 30. Hope you enjoy studying this section of the Doctrine and Covenants.